King lock it
Come on,
up.
baby.
King lock it up.
Come on, baby. Hold, baby. No ace, no spade.
Little card, little card.
Oh, shit. No spade, no spade, no ace.
Red
No
card.
spade, no ace.
Red card.
No spade, no ace. You got it, JT. You got it, JT. You got it, JT. You got it. You got it, JT. Come on. No spade, no ace. One time.
Two hearts.
One time. One time. One time.
Two hearts. Two hearts.
Yeah! Woo! Let's fucking go, JT! Woo! Yeah, ain't no blurring faces. You famous now. Ain't no blurring faces. Ain't no more blurring faces. You famous.
All right, let's get a flop out, guys. All right.
I'm filming. You film me, Jake. Woo!
Yeah, we got a hand. I paused it, guys.
For those of you that don't know, this is Jonathan Tamayo, or as I call him, JT. And he's been whooping our ass and taking our money here at the Hangar Poker House for the last 7 years that I've known him. He's the undisputed king of all the poker nerds, and he's also the only person on earth that I know 100% that I'm stuck thousands against. But anyway, he's currently top 18 in the motherfucking main event. So send him all of your positive energy his way. Let's hope he takes this one down. And oh, JT, I no longer have to spend hours blurring your face anymore because now you're famous. Congrats, bro. Now, for those of you who asked me to come to Spades Poker House in Baytown, Texas, why would you ask me to come here? They don't even let you record. I asked the manager, and she said that I can't record, no recording under no circumstances. Even if I don't show any faces, there's no recording. So I just drove 45 minutes for nothing. So for those of you guys who asked me to come to Spades Poker House in Baytown, Texas, you guys owe me gas money. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going now, but I'm on the wrong side of town. So I got to figure out where I'm going to play. We'll figure that out soon, but I'll see you guys in the next spot. My goodness, man. Which one of you guys told me to go there? God, I need to go find the comments for all of you that told me to go there. I don't even know where I'm going to go. Where should I go now? I'm in Bay. Look at where I'm at. I'm in the middle of nowhere. Where is this? Where is that? God. Dang, man. Should I go to TCH? TCH is an hour from here. I've never been to TCH before. Should I go to TCH? That's an hour away. There's some place that's on the way, like back, like halfway back. It's called Poker Warehouse. But I've never heard of it, and I feel like they're not going to let me film it either. I feel like when I go in, like, they're not even on Poker Atlas. So, like, I'm already getting a bad feeling about that. I'm in the middle of nowhere, man. And then my thing is, I film at the other Spades all the time. They're not owned by the same person. And I'm not going to say the manager's name, but she reminded me of a TSA worker. Y'all know how TSA workers are? Like, dang, like, okay, just say no and I'll go on by my business. But she was like, you know, asserting her authority, you know. She was one of those guys. She was one of those. But now I'm in the middle of nowhere. I don't know where I'm going to go. I'm going to stop at this Poker Warehouse place, but I don't even know. They're not even on Poker Atlas. I don't know. Should I go straight to TCH? Maybe I should go straight to TCH. God. Play everywhere, they say. If any of you are watching this and you go to the other Spades, please let me know why the other Spades don't let you record. I don't understand. I don't understand. So, I still don't know where I'm going, but I will update you guys when I get to wherever I'm going. All right, update. So this Poker Warehouse place, it doesn't even exist anymore. I pulled up and it was a barbershop. So I'm going to TCH on Westheimer, and I'm just letting them know right now that I'm on tilt. So I hope they're not playing with the rent money. It's July 1st. I hope they're not trying to make some last minute rent money, because y'all know, the OGs know I ain't playing with the rent money. So I'm on tilt and I'm playing for stacks. Fuck! All right, we finally made it to somewhere that'll let us record. I'm here at Texas Card House in Houston, Texas on Westheimer, not the Spring location. I'm playing 1-3. It is a max $3,000 buy-in. There's a couple players deep. There's some very good players to my left who are deep, and I can already tell they're very good. They're directly to my left. a couple things I wanted to get into. WSOP. Okay, so for those of you guys that don't know, before I started vlogging, I wasn't really that much into the poker space. I was kind of in my bubble in Houston, like in Texas, and I didn't know how big the WSOP was. So when people was asking me what events are you playing, all I knew about was the main event. I got introduced to poker by falling asleep on the couch at 16 years old and waking up to the main event on ESPN. So that's how I got introduced to poker. Other than that, I knew about that event, but I didn't know it was like a whole 6-week thing. So next year, I'll be in a lot of events, but this year, I'm still in Texas. And also, guys, remember, playing poker is a privilege. So always keep life in perspective that we're having fun. We're gambling money. So always have fun when you play. No more talking. Let's get into the poker hands. We're 7 hands into this session when the first reverse button Omaha hand comes around and we look down at ace, king, 10-4 with king high spades in the hijack. The $3 big blind is limped to the button and he makes it $25. 5 players make the call, myself included. Let's head 6 ways to a flop. The flop comes deuce, 3, 5, rainbow, and UTG decides to lead on this board for $60. The low jack makes the call, and when it gets to me, I have an immediate decision here with the second nut straight. I mean, I could just call, but I would hate any turn card that's not a non-board pairing spade. And more than likely, my hand will only get worse from here. But do I really want to push the variance here with only the second nuts? I mean, UTG could easily have the nut straight. Leading on this board with 5 players left to act is very strong. But with the low jack only calling and with there being potential dead money in the pot, I took my time and eventually decided to push the variance and pot it for $395 in this spot.
$395.
If someone has 6-4, then congratulations. But I didn't want to only call only to dislike the turn card. I know for sure that I'm not in third place, so this can't be the worst raise in the long run. UTG calls the $395 and then the sore loser in the low jack exposes his hand while folding when we still have action left. It turns out that he had the same exact straight as me. And you can see my face of confusion when he folds, because I'm quickly realizing that this game won't be like most of the other games that I play in Houston. Because pretty much no breathing human being at the Hangar Poker House is making that fold. Even though the low jack was wrong to expose his cards, I did appreciate the free information because now I was sure that I had the best hand with another 4 now being accounted for. Let's head to the turn heads up.
2 players. Check. All in. Players all in.
The turn is the 9 of hearts, and when UTG checks it over to me, I go all in for my last $73. He makes the call. Now let's just pray for a clean turn card. The only thing he can really have at this point is a set. So let's just hope that the board doesn't pair.
Showtime.
You're good.
I just got the
Straight. Ace to 5.
that's a big laydown.
I hadn't played you. I don't know you.
The river comes the jack of spades, and we hold here with the second nut straight. UTG said that he needed the board to pair, and the low jack said that he folded because he didn't know me. Now, what do you guys think about my raise on the flop? I'm looking forward to hearing all of the nits who only play the nuts say, "That was a terrible raise." Let's get to the next hand. Oh, and they had a dealer change, so I had to get up and go to another table to tip the dealer. But I'm not going out of my way to prove to some of you guys that I tip the dealers. I mean, seriously, if you guys see it, then great. But if you don't see it, oh well. I still know that I always tip the dealers. And another thing, this is my YouTube channel. So my intros will be as long or as short as I want them to be. None of you guys are in here editing these videos with me. This is my creative process, not yours. And I'm only talking to the whiners that be in my comments, not to my loyal subscribers who actually appreciate the content. Now, you know what? Let's go back to the intro. JK, next hand. In the next hand, I look down at pocket queens in the middle position and I raise it up to $30. Only the button makes the call. Now let's go to the flop heads up. The flop comes 9-6 deuce rainbow, and I c-bet on this board for $35. I now know the button to be the most aggressive player at the table, which is why I size up in this spot for over half pot. He makes the call. Now let's see a turn card. Damn, now the turn comes the ace of diamonds, and this card is going to smash my opponent's pre-flop calling range for $30. Now my range could have some aces as well, but obviously with me seeing my hand and knowing I have queens here, him having an ace could be that much more likely. Now I could check and give up the strength of my hand, or I could bet smaller and just pray he has a hand like 8s or 7s. I didn't really like either of my options because he's an aggressive player, but I decided to bet a little less than half of the pot for $60. Now that plan didn't work as my opponent apparently loved this turn card and raised me to $150. Now I folded, but what do you guys do on this turn card? Would you bet small or would you check? Put it in the comment section below. I lose this small one. Now let's get to the next hand. Make sure you guys have downloaded the PokerBros app using the link in my description to play online poker with me. In the 2 clubs that I play in, there's daily cash games and tournaments that run 7 days a week. Also, join the Discords linked in my description for all questions and to have a manager help you get loaded up. For those of you that are waiting on my next meetup game, well, you'll have to wait until July 19th because all of the managers and owners decided to go to Vegas to be with the superstars. I mean, look at these guys. Jordan, if I was Phil, I would have snatched them $100 bills right out of your hand. And Big Red, if you ever decide to make a legend like Daniel look that small ever again, I'm coming to Seattle early to teach you some damn respect. You sit down when you take pictures with legends, you tall mofo. But anyway, guys, download the PokerBros app and I will see all of you on the felt. Next hand. In the next hand, we have Queen 10 off on the button and a player in late position has raised to $20. I decide to call for $14 more with my $6 straddle already being on the button. One other player makes the call as well and we head to the flop 3 ways. The flop comes Queen 7-4 with 2 hearts and the pre-flop aggressor c-bets on this board for $35. Now when he c-bets on this board, he could have so many ace-high hands that miss this board. His c-bet also felt very standard. In the moment, it just felt like he did that because he thought that that was what he was supposed to do with most of his holdings. So instead of just making the call here with my top pair, I decided to raise right away for $75 for a couple of reasons. One is to get him to commit more money to the pot while being behind, because I figured this player would have bet more pre-flop if he had a big pair like kings or aces. So 1, to get him to commit more money while behind, but 2, to possibly take control of the action on the turn. If he's raised on the flop, a lot of recreational players tend to check a lot of turns out of position, even with strong holdings. And if my middling top pair doesn't improve on the turn, I could just check back and see a free river card. Early position folds and the pre-flop raiser calls at $75 and we're heads up to the turn. The turn comes the 6 of diamonds, and when my opponent checks it over to me, I decided to check back here for pot control. I couldn't think of any worse hands that would call me on this turn card, but the raise on the flop still turned out to pay off as I got to see the turn and the river card for $75, which it would have been more if I just called the flop for $35 and he led the turn again. So heads up to the river. The river comes the 9 of clubs, and when it's checked over to me yet again, I'm sure I have the best hand at this point. I'm just not sure what amount I can bet to get worse hands to call me on this river card. Hands like ace king or maybe a hand like pocket jacks. I settle on the sizing of nearly full pot for $200. Now let's see if I can get paid off.
200.
He's thinking about it for nearly a minute, going over his options, taking his chip protector off his cards, looking at his cards, then putting his chip protector back on his cards. And that's always a good sign, but he eventually thinks better of it and makes the fold, so we take this one down. Let's get to the very next hand. We have Omaha yet again.
Small blind here.
In the very next hand, we have King Jack 3-3 with Jack High Diamonds in the cutoff, and the $3 big blind is limped all the way around. Let's see a flop 7 ways. The flop comes 8-7-5 all diamonds, so I flop the Jack High flush, and when the action gets checked to me, I bet the pot for $25. Now in hindsight, I like a check better here in this spot. Yes, some sets and 2-pair combos will call me sometimes on this flop for $25, but in the moment, I decided that I can't always be afraid of monsters under the bed, that being better flushes. Hell, there's only 13 diamonds in the deck, and 5 of them are already accounted for, so I decided I would bet the pot for $25, and then I would pretty much be done putting money into the pot if I were raised or too many people showed interest. 3 players end up making the call for $25, and we go 4 ways to the turn.
4 players.
The turn is a brick, being the 2 of clubs, and I decided to check when the action got checked to me. Let's see a river card.
$75.
The river came to the Jack of clubs, and the big blind laid out on this river card for $75. It folded to me, and I ended up calling the $75 bet, and the big blind flipped over the queen high flush, which beat me, but a straight flush as well with 6-4 of diamonds to go with it. And in hindsight, if I was paying attention, then it would have been an easy fold on the river, because it turns out that the player in the big blind tried to raise his own call of $25 on the flop. Now I noticed this when it happened, but I didn't really think anything of it. And not thinking anything of it costed me an extra $75. Now let's get to the next hand. In the next hand, we have yet another reverse button Omaha hand, and we look down at 8-7-3-3 double suited under the gun. The $3 big blind is limped to the cutoff, and he raises it up to $15. 6 players make the call, and we had 7 ways to the flop.
Heads up. Take some heads up.
The flop comes ace-8-5 all hearts, so I flop the 7 high flush, and I check when the action checks to me. It checks to the pre-flop aggressor in the cutoff, and he bets the pot for $105. Now I fold right away, but for you Omaha pros out there, I'm sure this fold is correct, but my question is this. Is this a $15 hand pre-flop in early position? One thing that I love about my own vlog is that I never pretend to know it all. I have no problem asking questions about spots that I'm not exactly sure about. So please put your comments in the comment section below. Let's get to the next hand. Damn! Is this an all Omaha vlog? Guys, I'm only supposed to put the interesting hands in the vlog. And there weren't too many interesting hold'em hands because these players were playing tighter than a pickle jar lid. So I have to work with the hands that I have. In this hand, I look down at King Jack 8-8 with King High clubs in middle position, and the button raises it up to $20. 4 players make the call, and we had 5 ways to the flop. The flop comes ace-6-4 with 2 clubs, and the hijack bets the pot for $105. The button makes the call, and when it folds back to me, I decided to just fold my second nut flush draw. I'm starting to get aggravated at this point, as nothing has really went my way since the first hand of the vlog. And now I'm adding on to my stack for an extra $500 because I like to add on to my stack as a way of getting the icky run bad off of the old chips. So I'm adding on to my stack for $500 and taking a quick restroom break. And when I come back, I'm locked in, ready to run good and play good. That was a patented tilt restroom break. I'm not gonna punt off this last 250. I'm up 250. I'm not gonna punt it off. But that was a tilt restroom break. Jesus Christ. I'm fresh off my restroom break, and I barely have time to breathe or get reset up when I look down at Pocket Queens Jack 5 in middle position. The player to my immediate left has already raised pre-flop to $20, and myself and one other player has already made the call. By the time I get my camera reset up, the flop is already out, and it's King Queen 6 with 2 clubs. So I flop middle set on this wet Omaha board. I check to the pre-flop progressor and he c-bets for $50. And here with the second nuts, I didn't really want to slow play my hand with all of the flush draws and straight draws out there. So I decided to re-raise him right away to $150. I wanted to pile more money into the pot while I was most likely to have the best hand. And outside of a cooler with him having a hand like Pocket Kings, I wasn't too worried on this flop.
1, 2, 3, 400, 450. Yeah, what's in the middle? 65? Yeah, 55 in the middle. 515.
Man, what the fuck? Did this guy really just re-raise my re-raise for pot? Really? A $515 re-raise on the flop? And to make it worse, I haven't seen this guy get out of line one time all night. I mean, what the hell is this guy trying to tell me that he has? Did you guys see my face when he re-raised me? I kind of found that hilarious because I was really caught off guard by his raise. But let's fast forward through the first full minute of my tank and listen to me think through the hand out loud.
I need a brush for time on 17.
I didn't have a club, I was snapping
You
off.
want to get some time too?
I'm just gonna let her run. How much time do I have left?
Minute and a half.
I haven't seen you get out of line. I haven't even seen you play hands. Jesus Christ, I have the second nuts. I have the second nuts. I don't think you're capable. You could have the flush draw, but I got a club in my hand. God damn. God, did you reshove a flush draw? Raise 20 pre-flop. God. Oh, just reshove. If I didn't have a club, I might call. I can't fold the second nut. Sorry guys, give me 30 seconds. Maybe I lost the minimum. You're not doing that with pocket sixes. You're not doing that with flush draw. You raise 20 pre-flop, pocket kings. I haven't seen you really get out of line at all. I really haven't seen you play. All right, nice hand.
Good queens.
Of course. Nice hand. So I end up making a fold, and then my opponent asked me if I had queens. And when I tell him yes, he then proudly flips over aces with the nut flush draw. Nice hand, bro. You gave me some.
I don't know what I'm doing.
You gave me some good content, so now I can just whine about. I can whine about the hand, and then my subscribers can tell me how bad I am and all that good stuff.
Post it in the comments.
Right. Comment below how bad I am at poker. In the next interesting hand of the night, I look down at Ace King off in the big blind and UTG raises it up to $20. A player in middle position makes the call as well as the button, and when it gets back to me, out of position with a strong hand like Ace King, I decide to bump it up to $150. The player in middle position is the only caller. Now let's go to the flop heads up.
Heads up. Okay. All in.
What is it?
211. Alright, guys. No more entries.
Same hand. Chop it up. So this hand pretty much played itself. The flop came 9-8-3 with 2 diamonds, and against the most aggressive player at the table, I decided to check it over to my opponent. And knowing that my opponent already had nearly half of his stack invested into this hand pre-flop, I would check this flop as well with a big overpair and let my opponent hang himself by going all in. Because there's a high probability that he shoves most flops already having so much of his stack invested. So when he shoves this flop as expected, I call the $211 with ace high, and we end up chopping this one up. Let's get to the next hand. In the next hand, we have another reverse button Omaha hand, and we look down at a pretty good hand. We have aces with king jack and ace high hearts in later position. Now we wish we could trade out the king of hearts for the king of clubs, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. But anyway, I raised it up to $20 when the big blind is linked to me. 4 players make the call, and we're headed 5 ways to the flop.
5 players. Okay.
The flop comes queen 10-3 rainbow, and the most aggressive player at the table decides to donk lead on this flop out of the big blind for $75. Now when it folds to me, here with an open-ended straight draw, a backdoor flush draw, and an overpair, I don't think I can fold just yet. So I make the call, as well as the small blind, 3 ways to the turn.
3 players. Okay.
What the hell are these runouts, guys? I mean, my goodness. There's really nothing to talk about in this hand. How did both of these hands end up being better than mine? Let's get to the next hand. In the last interesting hand of the night, I look down at king jack off in middle position and I raise it up to $20. The player to my left that re-raised me in that Omaha hand re-raises us yet again to $70. I make the call and we go heads up to a flop.
Heads up.
The flop comes 8 deuce 3 with 2 clubs, and I check in flow to the preflop aggressor with my king high. He then decides to c-bet on this board for $75. Now I don't believe him, but I still believe that he has a better hand than mine. I put him on a hand like ace king or ace queen. So I make the call looking to make a move on future streets. The turn comes to 3 of diamonds, and I'm loving this card because all of his ace high hands that I put him on are still ace high. So I check it over to him yet again, and he decides to shut it down and check back on this turn card. We head to the river, and it's the 5 of hearts. Another great card for our hand. And now that the turn got checked through, it's time to rep a hand that I would have made all of the same actions with. It's time to rep a hand like pocket 9s or pocket 10s, because I know I can't win with my actual hand of king high. But if he has ace high, then we obviously have to bluff, but we don't have to bet that big in order to get him to fold one of those ace high hands. So I settle on a sizing of $130 leading out on this river card. My opponent then quickly makes the fold, and we take this last interesting hand of the night down. I'm noticing that the more I learn about bet sizings and trusting my reads, the more pots I win. Well, that was the last interesting hand of the night, so I guess this is the part where I head to the cage to go cash out. And then after that, we'll head outside and I'll talk to you guys about how bad I am at poker. Let's cash out and see how we did.
986.
986. Thank you. And just like that, we're out. We were in for $1,000. We were out for 986. So that is a loss of this amount. The joke is really on me. I thought I was slick because I thought I was leaving up $14, but it turns out I was leaving down $14. I miscounted my stack, so I thought I was gonna sneak out of here with a technical win, but I lost $14. I deserve to lose. I played bad. I probably played like a 7 out of 10. Guys, I really got to get this tilt thing figured out. If I don't, I'm going to be vlogging 1-3 for the rest of my life. And I'll still make money because I'm kind of figuring this vlog thing out. But that's not the point. I'm playing poker because I want to be good. I want to be good. I'm competitive. But I say I played a 7 out of 10 because if I played my best, I would have been a lot more patient. I got to get this tilt thing figured out. You ever get that heartburn feeling in your stomach, in your chest, when you're just pissed off because things aren't going your way? See, when I get that heartburn feeling in my chest, I need to channel that and lock in. Because in poker, things ain't always gonna go your way. You can't just tilt off the money, because at the end of the day, I gotta show you guys my win rate at the end of the year. And I want it to look good, so all of these little sessions matter. Right now, my win rate is 3 figures an hour. And that's not saying much because I'm in Texas. Anybody with a pulse that kind of knows what they're doing can make 3 figures an hour playing poker in Texas. But I currently make 3 figures an hour, but that's not the point. Like, I want to keep it there and I want to play better. I have to play better. Like, I'm past the point. Tilt shouldn't be a problem at this point. When I come across tighter players, I have to exert discipline and patience more. You can't just always push the action, because I was up $500 like within the first 4 hands, and then like it just slowly withered away. I was missing pots. I made that wrong decision in Omaha. Even though he had a lot of equity, I still should have called, but I mean, I don't know. Like, anyway, that's enough rambling. I ended up losing $14. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. Good luck on the felts. Y'all take care. Peace.